Hey guys, what is up? It is Jason Fleagle here, and I wanted to do another video this evening for basically in response to a previous video that I asked for feedback from you guys. So I actually did a video in the past few days asking specifically to all the entrepreneurs and business leaders in my network, what are some of the challenges that you are currently facing? And one of my friends in my network, Mark Bowman, said, getting told no over and over, how to get your head back up and keep in the game. So I actually wanted to focus on that topic today because I've actually been experiencing that situation personally. So personally, professionally, and I kind of wanted to have my topic for this particular video be on overcoming rejection, getting past the no's, and get your head back in the game. So there's going to be a number of things to kind of briefly get through, but I'm going to share a little bit of information for ways that I found that helped me out and ways that I found for, other successful entrepreneurs. It's worked for them, and I think it might work for you guys too. So one of the biggest things to start with, I think, is ask yourself why you're getting the no's, and even ask the prospect, the potential person that you are trying to serve or trying to sell to. And remember, Zig Ziglar said to sell is to serve. So it's really, really important to focus in on, you are serving someone else. So if you're getting to a no, it's really asking yourself, is this the ideal client that you're even trying to serve? Have you even thought about creating, your ideal, it's called the ideal customer or ideal client demographic. So you want to think about who is the kind of person that you want to do business with. Because whether we like it or not, there are people we don't want to do business with. I know there's people I don't want to do business with. So you want to create your ideal customer demographic. Think about, what's the income level that you're targeting? What do these kind of people like to do for fun? That kind of thing. And, if someone is not in your ideal customer demographic, you're probably more likely to get a no, because what you have for them, or even the kind of person that you are, is just not going to work for them to do business with you. And remember, people do business with other people they know, like, and trust. So, and then from there, I'd say, if you're getting to a no, ask questions to connect with other people when you're trying to do business with people. It's so much about asking the right questions. By asking the right questions, you can get to people's pain points. There's so many times where, I love to build relationships with people, and just through conversation, I ask them questions about their life. I ask them questions about their family. There's so many people that are willing to talk about just who they are, what they enjoy doing, family members that they enjoy spending their time with. Well, relate what you have to offer them to, that particular thing in their life that they enjoy doing, what they're passionate about. So much of asking questions gets you that much closer to sharing about or connecting how the solution you might have for them can help them overcome a challenge that they're facing. So and then the big thing is, if you're like in network marketing, you're in business selling, a product or service, you're selling an informational product like a online course or something, or even a book. You want to make sure you're focusing in on the particular needs that you are solving with what you're offering to people. Because actually, one of the questions I had with a potential client that said no to me, I always like to ask questions on why they say no. Is it me? Is it what I'm trying to sell or offer to them? Is it, the team that I've kind of brought to those kind of things are so important. And once you get to that process, I actually realized that someone told me a no because they were like, I don't feel comfortable working in this kind of project because, and they listed the reasons. Well, if you don't ask why they don't, why they're not feeling comfortable about doing business with you, you'll never know why they said no. So it's really important, and a lot of people really appreciate that. You're being respectful to them, you're being honest, you're being transparent, and I always share with other people whenever I do like a talk on leadership at a conference or an event that I'm speaking at. True leaders really lead through authenticity, vulnerability, and trust. So those main areas are so important. And by asking questions, making sure that you're focusing on the particular needs of a potential client or customer, so important. Because if you're like me, if you're like anyone good at what they are good at doing, you can get so caught up in the minutia, the technical language. You're like, I'm such an analytical person, and I love looking at data, understanding data, manipulating data. But if I lead a conversation with that, talking about how data is so awesome, your key performance indicators, KPIs are so great, all that kind of stuff, no one cares. But when I talk about how this data can be used to make you money, to overcome the challenges in your business, they're immediately like, whoa, you mean by giving me this, I can solve this problem in my business, make more money, spend less money, have more money back in my budget? It's that kind of eye-opening experience that really gets them to see, that whole new perspective. And a lot of people, when they're trying to share a product, a service, information with other people to get them to convert, they lose sight of that. They get so focused, in their like technical area, that they forget it's all about connecting with people. And again, that's what Zig Ziglar, he's literally the guy who took sales from being a negative profession to being something that's proud, that is respectable. And his famous quote, which is my favorite quote of all time, is, "You can have everything in life you want if you just help enough other people get what they want." So important, because some of the best salespeople that I have ever met, Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank actually is probably one of the best salespeople I have ever met. He's basically the creator, the pioneer of the modern day infomercial. So any kind of products that you've seen on TV with those funny infomercials, he and his company were probably behind it. But he is known for really connecting with people on a deep emotional level, figuring out what their challenges are, and then he's got this product or this service that he can bring to the table that helps them overcome their challenge. So it's really, at the end of the day, no matter what you're involved in doing, sales, being in management, anything, you're working with people. So you got to learn how to connect with people on a personal level, how to really get to know them, build that relationship with them. Again, a lot of that's through asking questions. A lot of that, is figuring out who is the kind of person that you want to do business with. And then I want to kind of transition into motivation, because staying motivated is so hard when you are faced with so many no's. I mean, I can't even tell you how many no's I've received. Probably thousands, if I if I had to estimate. And I'm a relatively younger guy, so handling rejection is something that we all have to deal with, whether that's in sales or anything. But the other thing is motivation. So staying motivated. Last week, I actually, I had so many no's. I was kind of depressed. I was going through a process where I needed to really take a step back, reevaluate, ask myself some questions. Took a lot of, I went on a long run. I thought about, what was going on? What was I doing wrong in trying to connect with people? I also sought out some of my mentors that are, I have tremendous respect for them. These are people who have bought and sold companies for many millions of dollars, led organizations, nonprofits. And I asked them, hey, here's the process. Here's the process that I walk through. Can you give me some positive feedback? What are some of the holes that I'm missing here? What are some things that I'm missing that, I can help I can help improve this and better serve people. And from that, they gave me so many good insights. It's a lot of actually what I just shared. It's focusing in on the particular needs of that person, talking about how the solution, the product, service, information you have can overcome that challenge or the need, help them with that need that they have, and then you relate it to something that they understand. You know, I've worked with two billionaires, worked with multimillionaires, all the way down to solopreneurs. Every single person is different, and what they relate to different things. So it's a way to find out what they're passionate about, how they communicate, and ultimately you build that relationship with them. Figure out, again, you take your messaging strategy and craft how you're communicating with them around things that they're receptive to. There's people that I've talked to, having a background in athletics. If I'm talking to someone, that I knew was an athlete, or by asking questions, I figured out, was an athlete, I can kind of cater my messaging to them because they understand, different terms. I was a swimmer. So, I talk about the competition and, the training, the exercise, the effort that goes into it. Someone else I might be talking to is an artist. So figuring out, how my messaging strategy, my communication strategy relates to an artist is something else. And this is not something that changes overnight. It doesn't happen overnight. You're just like, boom, you're immediately an expert at communicating with people. It is a process that you learn, but having mentors that are there that you can kind of use as a sounding board for constant improvement. Again, asking even the people that you're trying to work with for feedback, positive feedback on how you can make things better. Because there's so many rejections that I get, and I like to preserve those relationships, even if it is a firm no. I ask, hey, okay, that's totally fine. It's ultimately your decision to do, what you want to do. But can I just ask why this is not a good fit for you? And usually that's some of the most valuable information that you can get from there. Some of it, the answers I've received are, it's just not a good fit for me. I don't have the budget. You get so many of those answers to those questions, where in some cases it might be excuses because you haven't done a good enough job explaining why you have the solution to the problem that they have. So in that case, it's usually asking more questions to kind of get through that process. So yeah, with motivation, like what works for me, every person is different, but I like to wake up early. I usually get up about around 5:30, 5:45 in the morning, do a quick HIIT workout, high intensity interval training, and then have some kind of motivational music on or motivational video. And one of my favorite channels on YouTube is Lion of Judah. As a Christian, it's got a lot of very awesome sermons on there, motivational music that's really catered to, helping people unlock their purpose, get motivated that, we were all created for a purpose to help other people. And I just really feel energized by doing that. And then, I go through my day, go through the work, and then later in the afternoon I usually do a run or some other kind of calisthenic exercise to kind of get back in the groove. Physical activity is so important because it actually helps get so much of your hormones back into sync and actually helps you feel better. And then I like to tell people it's really about micro wins. So it's those little wins that you get where you feel better. Like I finish a 3, 4, 5 mile run. After it, I know that I did my best when I pushed through it. And just by getting that little win, I feel better positioned to take on, the next challenge that I have. So those little daily wins are so important. So if you're being faced with rejection right now of asking people to do business with you, take a step back, process what's going on, ask yourself some questions, get away from the situation, go on a walk if you don't feel comfortable doing some hard exercising. I highly recommend, if you're a weightlifter, put on some motivational music, pump out some good, good reps in the gym. If you're into boxing, get into the punching bag. I've got a punching bag right back here, actually, when I'm kind of, feeling depressed, feeling a little down. I will put on some motivational music and work the bag, so to speak, just to get a little bit of frustration out, some motivation back into myself. And then I usually go back to my journal and look at my goals. I like to keep track of the relationships that I'm building with other people, because I'm so much a believer in win-win-win relationships. And really, at the end of the day, what that means is, what's a win for me? What do I need to have to experience a win? What does the other person that I am trying to serve need to experience to have a win? And then in terms of a combination, what do we need to have as a win to serve other people? What does the person we're trying to serve need to have as a win for them to serve other people? For example, a lot of the business I do is with other businesses. So I think about what's my win, what's a win for them in terms of a partnership or doing a project with them. And then they might have customers or clients or other people that they're trying to serve too. And I think about that. If I put myself in their shoes, thinking about what they, really need to serve people well, again, focusing back on the needs that they have, you can immediately connect with people. A lot of people have tremendous respect for you. And they're like, wow, how could we not do business with each other, kind of thing. Once you get to that stage, it's like, it just clicks. You feel it, you feel good, and you're like, wow, let's do business together. Let's, if some people, want to change the world, other people just kind of want to make a little bit money, enough money to pay for, their bills, whatever is your cup of tea. But yeah, going back to your goals is so important. So for me, I look at my journal. I've got my daily goals, my quarterly goals written in there. I mentioned in one of my previous videos, I talk about Tim Ferriss, how he does, his dream line exercise. So he does quarterly kind of goals. These are his big chunks that he wants to kind of, accomplish. If you're familiar with traction, it's that, these are the rocks. It's those things that you're focused on trying to accomplish in a particular period of time. So yeah, I mean, those are my main things, thoughts, ideas that I have in terms of sharing, with you guys, information on helping to overcome rejection, getting past some of those no's, and then getting your head back in the game. And then, just to encourage you guys, keep going, keep up the good work. I'm sure what you're doing is really, really important to serve other people. So don't give up. One of the other videos I've done, so much of social media has a tendency to make people feel alone. And I don't want you guys to feel alone. We're all in this together. We're all human beings. Why don't we all work together to encourage each other, lift each other up? Because that's what a true community does. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. But please, if you have any particular questions, or if you have something, outside of what I've shared that really works for you, or you found that works well, please share it in the comments section. I would love to know, and I know other people, tuning in to watch this video would love to know that information as well. And then I'd love questions, because I'm starting to do a lot of these different videos focused around people's questions that they have, and I want to, through my experience, through my network, people I've been able to learn from, like the John Maxwell Company, the Ziegler Corporation, Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank, and so many others. I want to be able to help you guys get that win. Again, that win-win-win is so important. So I'm here to help you guys as much as I can. But thank you so much for tuning in. And remember to keep moving forward, and I will catch you guys next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.